The scariest things happen when terror comes to ordinary places, where you're vulnerable simply because you're relaxed. Like at the laundromat, at that very same quick bubble on the outskirts of town where I got stuck that night. It was 3 in the morning. My flight was canceled, the city was alien, and the only thing open was that damned laundromat with its neon sign flickering like a nervous tick. Inside, it smelled of burnt dust, cheap air conditioning, and melancholy. A 10-year-old pop hit hissed from the speakers. I was alone, except for the old man behind the counter, his eyes glued to his tattered detective novel, and the girl in the far corner. She was frantically, manically loading clothes into one of the big washing machines on the heavy cycle. Everything was black. Black t-shirts, black jeans. Her face was pale under the fluorescent light, her eyes red. From crying? Lack of sleep? She caught my gaze and turned away abruptly. I loaded my things in and dropped in some coins. Machine number 7. A monotonous hum filled my head. I buried my face in my phone, trying to kill time. Half an hour later, I noticed something strange. The girl was still standing by her machine. She didn't sit down, didn't take out her phone. She simply stared at the round glass window, unblinking, and her clothes inside, they were moving, not just rolling under the streams of water. No, they seemed to be spinning, like something alive, heavy, trying to take shape. I chalked it up to a trick of the light and fatigue. But then the vibrations of the wash cycle ended. Silence fell, broken only by the haunting melody from the speakers. The girl jerked sharply, opened the window, and began unloading the laundry into the cart. Everything was still black, wet, heavy. It fell with a dull thud. And then I saw it. A pale, almost white wisp of something flashed in the black mass. It was a sock. A child's sock, with a little pink unicorn on it. It was strikingly clean against all that darkness. The girl noticed it, her body trembling. She grabbed the sock, frantically stuffed it into the pocket of her black sweatshirt, and turned around. Her eyes met mine again. There was no fear in them, but some icy animal panic. She rushed toward the exit, leaving the cart of wet clothes in the middle of the room. And then the lights went out. The neon lights crackled and went out. Only the emergency light above the door remained, casting long, dancing shadows. The music faded. The silence was broken only by the sound of dripping water and a loud, wet slap. I turned around. The girl's cart was still there, but her black underwear was slipping off, leaving a wet trail on the floor. It wasn't just falling. It was moving, crawling like a giant, shapeless caterpillar, leaving a dark trail behind it. In the light of the flashlight, I saw it wasn't just fabric. In that crumpled mass, I could make out the outlines of hands, fingers. Something flashed. A zipper on a black jacket flashed like a tooth. Damn, I whispered. The old man behind the counter finally raised his head. He looked at the crawling mass, then at me. And he said completely dispassionately, "Machinist number 7. Yours." I glanced automatically at the washing machine. The rinse cycle had just finished. Through the door, in the complete darkness of the drum, I saw a face. It was pale, blurred by water and movement. A child's. Eyes wide open, dark hair plastered to its forehead. It pressed itself against the glass from the inside, as if trying to see something from the outside. My own reflection overlapped it, creating a monstrous collage. I recoiled. At that moment, the creature from the cart crawled into the center of the room and began to rise. Not like a person, like a puppet on invisible strings. Black fabric hung from it in wet rags, and something crunched and gurgled inside. From the folds fell that very same child's unicorn sock. And then I heard a voice. A childish, thin, soaking wet sound came from everywhere, from the speakers, from the dryer vent, from the dripping water. Mommy left me in the dark washing machine. Now I'm cold, and I want to play. A scrap of black fabric flew toward me with incredible speed, unacceptable for something so shapeless. I screamed and jumped back toward the machine. The face behind the glass disappeared. In its place, my clothes were now spinning slowly. And among the blue polo shirts and gray socks, I saw something pale again. A child's shirt. Polka dots. It hadn't been there when I'd loaded the laundry. The old man behind the counter spoke again, his voice close to my ear now, though I hadn't seen him approach. They always come here. They erase memories. They erase evidence. The dirt comes off, but the essence ingrains. It stays in the drum. And then he moves on to the next one. The ones who do their laundry late at night when no one's watching. I rushed to the door, hitting my shoulder on the doorframe. I darted out into the deserted parking lot. The door slammed behind me, and the light inside flickered again. The neon sign began to blink. The music started playing again. The next morning, in a different city, I was unpacking my bag. I pulled out my wet, unwashed underwear and froze. Among my things lay a small, perfectly dry, pink unicorn sock. And in my jacket pocket, I found a crumpled receipt from Rapid Bubbles Laundromat. It read, "Cycle, heavy. Machine number 7. Status completed. Paid. Come again." And you know what the worst part is? Now, in the evenings, when I pass any laundromat and hear the monotonous hum of the machines, it seems to me there's a rhythm to it, like someone's knocking from inside. And I always check my pockets before putting anything in them, just in case. What if there's something else? Foreign?